Thank you, Speaker. While I can understand the frustration of this situation that you seek to address, sponsor, when it comes to retail thefts and it being organized, when it comes to thefts of firearms from cars, the need to do something is there. And I do understand that, and I agree with it. I believe that too. But I believe that this is the wrong tool to address this problem. I do not think transferring 15-year-olds to adult courts is the resolution to the problem of firearms being stolen out of vehicles or retail thefts happening. What shocks me is that you do, and my colleagues, you do see a problem, but the tools to address it have nothing to do with addressing root causes. So there's nothing about addressing poverty. There's nothing about addressing lack of opportunity. There's something now you want to legislate the theft of firearms leading to a child going to adult court. But we don't have any legislation requiring safe storage laws. We don't have legislation that ensures that people don't get easy access to firearms in the first place. But now, after passing things like permitless carry, after passing legislation like that that has led to over 30,000 guns and firearms being stolen from vehicles, the resolution you offer isn't a repeal of permitless carry, which was a disaster and is a disaster in our communities. It's to ensure that 15-year-olds are tried in adult courts as a solution. Say that you have more egregious laws on the books, and that's going to fix it. But this tool, this attempt, has been tried before. And what it does when you have things like the 1994 crime bill, you end up having more people, yes, being incarcerated, but you do nothing to deal with the systemic problems that we need to address, such as poverty, such as the gun violence epidemic, in a meaningful way. I'm very frustrated by these terrible, pathetic pieces of legislation that are weak excuses for addressing significant problems. If we want to do something about vandalism or organized crime and retail theft, then do something about lifting the minimum wage, creating more access to opportunities for youth, investing in communities that have been overlooked and under-resourced and underfunded. You want to do something about the theft of firearms? Do something about people getting access to firearms in the first place. Repeal permitless carry. Ensure we have safe storage laws. Do something to address those problems. It's on the bill, my colleagues, because it is talking about the theft of firearms for a 15-year-old, leading them to be charged in adult court, which means disproportionately black young people are going to be charged in adult court. This is on the bill. But let us not just be on the bill. Let us have some morality in the ways that we are legislating. Let us have an intentionality to address the root causes of the problems we see in our communities and stop these very weak Band-Aids that do nothing to address the deep-seated problems in our community. Because this type of legislating is harmful. This type of legislating ignores the real problems. This type of legislating is immoral. But instead, let us legislate in a meaningful way to address the root causes of these problems. This idea that one of my colleagues mentioned, that they'll know we're a law and order state, is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We need to be a state that prioritizes the people who need our help the most. Let us be a state that stops gun violence from being the #1 killer of children. Let's be that state. Let's be the state that gives people access to Medicaid expansion. Let's be that state, not this punitive state that is not addressing the root causes of any of the problems that we see in our communities. That is why I ask that you not support this legislation and why I won't.
Representative Grills.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We each have 15 bill spots to file bills. Next year, you'll have 15 more.